Let's knock them on their asses. Yeah. You brought your asses, didn't you?
TalkRadar, Games Radar officially christened podcast this week. TalkRadar, do we all agree on that?
Yes, TalkRadar.
The answer is no, we didn't.
Oh, that's right. I just decided it was going to be called that.
Because I wanted Games Radar Talktastic.
Now we're broadcast. Broadcast was already taken.
Which one? Broadcast was already taken, as was Talk of the Nation. Consarn it.
Well, who are you?
Oh, I'm Christopher Antista.
I
don't know, because Shane changed his title. Can I change my title?
No.
I'm senior editor of Dick Jokes. This is
Brett Elston, Nintendo editor of Games Radar.
Tyler Wilde, community and features editor.
And Michael Raparez, PlayStation editor.
And together, we make up a portion of Games Radar. It looks like a couple of you people like the podcast this week, and the worst complaint I saw is that this is unprofessional.
It's the internet.
It's the internet. And we're saving all our lunch money in order to get a mixer of some kind.
A proper mixer, so everything sounds like it's coming out of a real live website.
Yeah, we're going to be a For Reals podcast one day.
2 weeks.
Yeah, give us a couple of weeks. What happened this week, Tyler?
Well, we had the top 7 least extreme games. It's an idea. I loved the idea when I heard it last month in our meeting, and so I wrote it. And it's great. I mean, we've all seen the trend of slapping extreme or the even more popular letter extreme onto every fucking thing because the kids will love it. It's crazy. Extreme.
Like a Mountain Dew drinking Zorro.
I think a lot of it started sort of with whoever it was who decided that every sports game that involves tricks is somehow extreme. Like, the weather at the North Pole is extreme. Blowing up abortion clinics is extreme. But, what makes falling off your skateboard and getting your nose ring caught in the wheel? What makes that more extreme than something like rugby, which is a brutal sport, but it's never been called extreme?
Well, as Dig user Doug to Death says, yes, we all get the joke. Games with extreme in the title aren't extreme. Slow week Games Radar?
Oh,
you're commenting on Dig. Slow life. That was the next comment, and it was me.
I believe you also commented the only thing extreme about Dead or Alive beach volleyball was the amount of blood in my erection.
That's true. I'll paraphrase. That's from the Bible.
What book is that, actually?
Luke goes to Dallas. 18. If there's any marketing people listening, does extreme test well in focus groups?
I mean,
would you want to play a kayak game? Fuck no. Is it extreme? Whoop. Now you have my ear.
Yeah, it's like they're all marketing to Bart Simpson, and they think radical.
Well, they're marketing to Bart Simpson from the 90s.
Yes.
Because I think in the last 8 years, I don't think he's even that same kind of kid anymore. That Bart's always getting into trouble.
He's always shorts.
He's always cutting off statues' heads and things, and now he's just kind of like, what do you want me to do this week?
This will really appeal to the kids playing marbles and screaming cowabunga.
Yeah, extreme chess, I'm not really sure. It's a very difficult chess game.
Well, I liked the idea that one of their selling points, what was it?
Oh, was huge database or something like that. It looks like an Excel spreadsheet, which is...
Oh, yeah. The bottom of the box says brute strength, raw speed, massive database, which sounds like the cover of some kind of PC hardware magazine where it's like, oh, fuck yeah, massive database. Sign me up.
Our developers' cubicles are spotless.
And then the screen is just 500 or 600 tests where this machine beat man at his own game.
Take that, man.
What were some other things on the list?
Extreme sports with the Bernstein Bears.
The Bernstein?
Bernstein?
The Bernstein.
How are they? I checked the spelling on that because I spelled it wrong first. I spelled it Bernstein, but it's like
Berenstain.
Berenstain.
You Philistine from
Oh,
You're thinking of My Attorney. No, it's the Berenstein Bears. The Saul Bernstein.
I get it. Berenstein. Okay. Well, that makes it. But they're doing extreme sports, and it was basically this. But there's nothing
You can't see
extreme.
me, but I'm playing air guitar right now.
Is it
And,
extreme air guitar is the question. How many frets?
Squibbity flop.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm going to cut this out.
Fair enough.
Also, Disney's Extreme Skating Adventure.
And I have an anecdote from Brett Remembers, which I wish we had some kind of music for.
That else didn't remember it.
Back in the day, when I was a young lad in the Toys R Us salt mines, we had an Xbox kiosk that was cranked to goddamn 12 out of 5 volume that you could hear from aisles away all the time. And you actually literally had to stop what you were doing because it was so fucking loud. And one day I heard this really shitty, like, I think this is pre-Linkin Park days, but just kind of whiny, screamy, yelly, punk rock nothing music that has no reason. And I'm like, what game could that possibly be coming out of? And I round the corner and I'm looking at fucking Buzz Lightyear skating and grinding down toy tracks and dog noses and shit. And
I mean, this is the music.
yeah.
Who's this Trust Company?
It's called Trust Company, and I've never heard of them before since, and the song is just terrible.
I don't know. I actually quite like it. It reminds me of how much I hate my dad.
if they would just talk and you know, read a book and look at the sun.
So this is a Disney game.
It's a Disney game, and it stars like Buzz Lightyear and Tarzan and all the other characters.
Simba.
I don't know. I don't think that works at all.
No, keep it going.
I'll keep what going. The song? You want to hear more of this?
Yeah, oh yeah. Take it to the end. There's an ending clip that...
I'm just going to skip straight to the end of the song, Red.
Oh. Yeah, this is actually with the part that I was at where I was like writing tickets for items. I'm like, what the fuck is that noise? And then there's Buzz.
Hakuna Matata?
Yeah, it's our motto.
What's the motto?
Nothing. What's the matter with you?
Oh, Jesus. That's somehow mistaken for great cinema. Alright, Jesus Christ.
Now, is it over?
It's
I
over
want to
for
hear more.
me.
What was the other track by Trust Company? I didn't make the football team.
That girl didn't talk to me.
Jocks are weird. Why do they make Gadzooks a women's store? These guys, I really feel for them.
Well,
what was the strange? What was something else from the top 7, Tyler?
Oh, Jesus.
Were you even paying attention?
No, I wasn't. Well, Grandia Extreme is another great example of...
That one always puzzled me. It's like, how is an RPG, how is something turn-based? How can that ever be extreme?
Well, I think their idea was...
Extreme waiting for your turn!
All right, now
Extreme
you
politeness.
kill.
Extreme potions and item management. Well, in its defense, the idea was that the previous one was actually very... Yes, make that face at me. That the previous one was very story-driven in characters, and there was towns and a reason to play the game, whereas this was fucking extreme! All it is a dungeon crawler. There's only 2 towns and a tunnel going back and forth between them.
I would like to point out that this operation is so rinky-dink and low rent. I have a set of headphones down my pants so the listeners can't hear them. But I can feel them now. It feels like I have one big set of balls and 2 tiny sets of balls clinking together.
2 mutated frog balls that came out of the pond.
I want a new podcast. No.
You can't have one.
What else happened this week?
Well, for one, our hill caught on fire and almost burned the building down.
Holy shit, we had a forest fire. This is my first Californian fire. Like, us East Coasters look back at you guys like, you're fucking nuts. Why do you live on these hills that are constantly going aflame? The wind would take it, and it would go in like a wave of flames. I've set forest fires. I had a little bit of a pyromania problem after Back to the Future. Like, I wouldn't leave I'd leave the house every day with a cup of gasoline and just make tire streaks in dry grass because I'm smart. But no, that was pretty insane. That helicopter was outside
dumping water from the ocean on top of it. It was great.
Yeah, we have a YouTube video. We'll link to it.
Yeah,
we should.
Actually, we will. Yeah, it brought everything to a standstill because we're in the same business park. IGN, GameSpy, A couple of other, I think that's basically it, though. We're all in the same business park, and it was just like, everybody, let's all go into the street and all together as a brotherhood
Let's
of game
inhale
journalists.
carcinogenic smoke. It'll
Yeah.
be awesome.
That's the smell of nature paying for what it's done to us.
Let's watch the smoke just wash over Nintendo Power's offices and be glad we're not them.
Yeah, they probably got to the closest to Nintendo Power.
I know I'm happy to be alive. I really am.
I am. Now we've got a big black scorched hill right outside our window. It's great.
I know, it looks like a fudge sundae. It's adorable.
But
Did you want to talk about the Red Hulk? I don't know anything about the Red Hulk. And
the Red Hulk. Well, I was going to get to that in a second.
well, let's get to it now. Do what I say.
All right, fair enough. The idea was that fine. Well, let's go.
Let's do this.
There's
Podcast.
there's three things. Let's always talk about this pointless talk about the console war and my dick hat's bigger than your dick hat or whatever. There's three things that happen, like one for each system this week that kind of, I don't know, are ripe for that kind of discussion and are really tearing up comments like on N4G and other sites and stuff. One is that, and I don't know why this story is making such a big splash, but the 360 version of Incredible Hulk, which you talked about last week, to great effect, has an exclusive Red Hulk in the game, and I guess the PS3 one doesn't. And for whatever reason, that shit was like N4G bases its story popularity on a degree from 1 to into the thousands. And last time I saw that Hulk story about an extra character being in it, it was almost like 700 degrees. And generally, anything that makes it to 1,000 is like, wow, Microsoft just closed down, like that level of arguments. It's a Red Hulk. And everyone in the article was like, what's Red Hulk? Because he hulks. I am going to...
It's very exciting.
I know!
It's not at all.
It's not at all, and I don't understand why that shit took off. And it's just used as a springboard for like, yeah, well, my 360 gets Yoda and your stupid PS3 gets dumbass Vader.
I'm a little more concerned.
Yeah, nobody wants to play as Vader. Vader fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember at the press conference they were like, and it was based on their color, not because of their position in the timeline. Darth Vader goes to the evil system. Yoda goes to the. But I don't really like the idea of an in-game GameStop exclusive. I don't know, that bugs me.
Is it a GameStop exclusive?
That was what I was told. It's exclusive, not to the 360 version, if you buy it at GameStop. And I swear to God, I will go and edit this out if I'm wrong.
I'll look right now.
But
it is. It is. I'm looking at it now. It's GameStop only for the 360 version for Red Hulk. And considering I don't know if Red Hulk's even in comics yet, I know he's supposed to be.
I thought he was.
He's supposed to be. I mean, I haven't bought comics in a couple weeks, so I don't.
So
What's
he's
Red
more
Hulk
than
about?
just a different color.
It's actually a different character. It's not just Hulk
Whoa.
turned red.
No, it's like a misprinted penny. It's just worth a lot.
Yeah, it's if my information is correct and I've read properly.
Hulk is green, if I'm right. Hulk is green.
Well, this Hulk is like the radioactive waste left from him on another planet, fused with some guy he killed and turned him into a Red Hulk. I don't know. Maybe that's wrong. I know that's incredibly interesting. That's why it has 3 digs. That's 3 goddamn digs, man. That's at least 3 clicks, maybe.
That's 3 people.
How is that even going to work if it's a GameStop exclusive? I mean, is it like you get sent a download code, or it's just like GameStop will give you this code that'll be on the internet within an hour anyway, and you can unlock Red Hulk?
Or does GameStop take you out back after you bought it and kick you in the nuts and give you an awful pre-owned fee? Again, I hate fucking GameStop. I am willing.
Well, over the week, I tried to go take a game back that was broken. It was scratched to hell as I got it, and then wanted to take it back. And then I couldn't even do an even exchange without the receipt. And as I mentioned, my retail slavery for 5 years, you didn't need a receipt to do an even exchange of a thing you already bought. And then this guy's just like, no, I gotta, let me ask the other guy who doesn't know shit about dick, and let me ask him, hey, fuckhead, do you know what's up? No, I'm even dumber and lamer than you. No, I need a receipt. Why? I can't read, sorry.
Here's what they've done with games nowadays, and I think this is the trip to high definition. This is what spurred it on to the cost to bootleg something like that is more than 5 games are worth. So you're not trying to play. And tell them what game it was, just so people can feel your plight.
Oh, it was GTA.
And you wanted to play it on your PS3, which is broken for how many times?
Oh no, I was trying to play it for my 360, which has broken. And this is I'm so goddamn pissed about this. My 360, I just got it back today for the third time, and when I sent it in the third time, I wrote a big note in big fucking fuck off black marker and taped it to the entire top of the 360.
Do
third
not remove
time.
Hello Kitty sticker.
No, it said third time, all caps, underlined, and exclamation point. Like
Smiley face.
send me back a solid gold bar for all of this shit, man. And then I moved to the PS3 because, well, my 360 is not working. I'll try to play my PS3, which is a glorified paperweight. It's keeping the house in.
See, Michael.
It's a load-bearing system at this point. It's keeping my house. And that and the Wii, but the Wii keeps like the doghouse up, I guess, is what that's for. The PS3 already had to send it in once. Had to send the 360 in 3 times now, as we know. And then the PS3 just broke again last weekend when I was trying to play it because my 360 was already broke. That's 2 for PS3, 3 for 360. I have never in the history of my life had to ever replace, fix, or do anything to alter my hardware from my NES from 1985 that still works to this day.
Mine too.
Super Nintendo, GameCube, everything, Sony, Microsoft, whatever. It all works. My shitty Sega CD that should have broken within a week still works. And all of these new systems, because, we can do so much. You can get the weather and read shit and, all this other... You can also play games. That's fine. You can do that if you want.
We have a little trouble existing, but everything else you'd want to do...
You want to surf the internet?
For 2 years. No, I don't. I don't want to
surf the
I don't want to surf the internet with a 6-axis.
Yeah.
Unless I can do it like Tom Cruise in Minority Report. I've never lost a system ever. Like, it's my N64 actually is the only one that's ever broken. Like
Really?
my NES still works. Yeah, I don't know why that is.
Did you blow into the cartridge at all?
I'm not an idiot. I would never spit into my system. Kids, do not blow in your fucking systems. I'm not going to tell you again. I've had to tell the forum kids a couple times. Quit blowing your shit.
That's how you fix it.
That is not how you fix it, man. How you fix it is you throw a towel around it, start it up, and dunk it in a bucket of water. That's good enough. Make sure it's plugged in when you do that. If you're looking for a quick fix. Kids,
Congratulations.
stick it fork in your 360.
And when you're dunking your plugged in N64 into the gallon of water, be sure you put your head in the water to make sure that it's working.
Yep. Yes.
If you hear a sizzle, that's progress.
Worst case scenario, you look like Yahoo Serious and Young Einstein. I think, if I know science like I think I do.
See, I had the exact opposite problem of the rest of you. For me, it was the last generation. My Xbox and my GameCube both crapped out, I think from overheating. Yeah, and the games that broke them were Driver 3 for the Xbox and Metroid Prime for the GameCube. And
your GameCube, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. Like now that I think of it, I think my Xbox, the DVD drive had a little bit of trouble, but was easily fixed by my friend in its TV shop with the right tools. But I guess that technically broke too. Yeah, man, hard disk and CD-based consoles do not seem to be holding up at all.
I think it all started with, for me at least, the PSP, because that was the first thing that launched. Where like within days of it launching, it was like 3 of my friends had to take theirs back because all of their R buttons were broke, and everyone was getting dead pixels to the point where it was like 9 or 10 dead pixels per PSP.
My PSP, within the first 2 weeks, the pad on the analog stick broke off, so I had to like put my thumb on this little, just stick coming out of it because the pad was gone.
Gross.
I never played it again.
No one has you used to have to turn their PS1 or X, whatever the fuck you want, upside down and play like that.
Oh, I had to do that, but mine was modded. So.
Nobody Okay, we're going to have to edit that out. But, and nobody had, like, my PS2 still works, but it's a little uppity.
It's a little uppity.
I never had any problems with mine. It works perfectly.
I will play Ratchet and Clank, but I will not watch City of Lost Children under any circumstances. That's my PS2 impression.
I felt like I was sitting next to a PS2 that whole time. But moving on to PS3 and this whole console war bullshit, we saw what happened to Haze this week.
Oof.
Yeah, I got shit on.
It got shit on by everyone.
Yeah.
Except maybe us.
Yeah, ours is, I don't know. It's averaging. don't remember what the average is, but it's like in the 6 range, and IGN gave it a 4.5. Ours is a 7.
Ours is 7.
GameSpy's a 6 or somewhere around there, maybe lower. Maybe it is a 4. I don't know. But I just think what that means that's another...
is that we take money from the publishers to rate the game higher.
Right. Yeah, that's why
they didn't pay us enough this time. That's clearly why.
I'm sitting pretty. I don't know what you...
It was...
I got half a sub at my desk. But did anybody who had some decent time with Haze?
I had a little bit of time with Haze, and honestly, it makes me think of a couple years ago on the Xbox when there's like this huge glut of all these sci-fi shooters, and Pariah came out, and it was a pretty game. It played well, but just there was no reason for it to exist. It offered nothing over its competitors, and playing Haze, I just had that same feeling coming back. And it's like, why is this coming out? This is sort of like a Halo knockoff for PS3, and yeah, it's good and it's kind of interesting, but why? Why now? And apparently I just read on Next Gen that Killzone 2 is getting delayed for exactly that reason, because there's a glut of quality shooters out there, and it's getting harder and harder to stand out.
That's because everybody's still playing Call of Duty from November.
Well, yeah, there is that.
Too.
Which you think there'd be room for, modern day shooter and sci-fi shooter, but I guess Halo's still pulling its weight in that regard.
And incidentally, by mentioning Haze and Halo in the same sentence, I bet I get more hate mail than all you put together.
Oh god.
That Haze, I heard Haze was fairly unbalanced. There was one side you...
Yeah, well, there's the whole thing where when you're playing is like the mantle troopers or whatever they're called at the beginning. You get nectar, which just kind of juices you up, gives you all these heightened abilities, and when you trade that in not far into the game for playing as a rebel for the rest of the story, your new talent is that you get to play dead. And I know that when I'm shopping for shooters and when everyone else is shopping for shooters, that's kind of high on their list. It's like, can I play dead? Can I fall down and not play for like a couple minutes while things go on around me that I have nothing to do with?
Let's go somewhere. Oh, what else we got?
We know where we can go. Speaking of the console war, that Conduit trailer for the Wii.
Yeah, so we had...
It's party.
It's party for a Wii game is the thing.
That's what I meant.
And it's do we need another proprietary engine from somebody else that's going to be used just for Wii shooters? That sounds like a great market. Like, that's really going to get used again and again when another... Like, what? Just
the shooter's not dead. The Wii was supposed to be a godsend in terms of the shooter. It really was supposed to offer a lot. And the fact that nobody's really come to the table and met that demand, which I thought I was sick of my friends saying, I've never played a console shooter, mouse and keyboard. I'm like, a mouse and keyboard was never designed for a first-person shooter. It's just the best thing. And then I see the Wii remote. This is it. This is gonna make everything better. I'm gonna be able to kick your ass in Crisis with my Wii remote. Of course, that's not possible, but
that's physically not possible.
I know, but I want another way to play a first-person shooter. And what else should the Wii remote be doing outside of holding it over your head as you jump up and down on a mat? It should be pointed at the screen like a fucking gun and blowing people away.
It should be. You could play Target Terror if you want that.
Oh yeah. Oh boy.
And I noticed how much fun House of the Dead was on the Wii. House of the Dead 2 and 3.
Oh, it was good.
I had a good time with that.
Yeah, that's fun. But I mean, I played that 8 years ago on Dreamcast and the arcade.
Yes, and the act of holding a gun and murdering somebody is what all games should struggle to achieve.
But can you really be murdering them if they're already dead, Chris?
Holy shit, Michael! I find. Oh,
just ruined your day.
I did notice Amazon, one of their people, wrote a glowing recommendation for Target Terror, saying this is the game that's going to bring back light guns.
What the hell?
This is going to be awesome.
Really?
Target Terror is like the arcade equivalent of the things that show up in bargain bins at Walmart.
It's always sitting outside of a Pizza Hut or a Kmart or something, and like, who won't play that Target Terror?
We need to put a screen of this on the podcast page,
Right.
so everyone who hasn't seen it can see. Because
Oh, Target's hair?
Bringing back a new era of shooting at movies and shitty CG.
Oh, Lethal Enforcers.
And Area 51, which is basically what it is, on the Golden Gate Bridge.
That's, yeah. No one should set out to create a budget title, and the Wii has changed that.
Now the goal is to make a game cheap, sell it cheap, and sell 5 copies, and you make your money back.
Yes.
So now the goal is how many games can we squeeze out before we have to wipe?
I think Arsenio Hall of Game is just around the corner. Sorry.
You're fighting valiantly.
I've been holding the phlegm in my throat for so long.
Yeah.
Nintendo. Nintendo has some big announcement at E3, and barring the obvious new DS redesign, they're supposed to have some title that's gonna blow
us
our
away.
asses on our dicks.
It's going to be the Matrix Online.
Yes.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yes. And Shane and I were just trying to speculate as to what it was, because Nintendo has kind of really, really blown all its A-list in the first 18 months. Like, all they have left are,
Star Fox.
They have Star Fox, and Kid Icarus seems like a given at this point. He's been given a body and redesigned with F-Zero, maybe. I don't know. What do you think? I feel like Nintendo's lost most affection for F-Zero.
I don't see why. They've had games every system.
Because they could remake that constantly. I'd play plenty of F-Zeros outside of the last one, which I didn't like that much.
GX, the GameCube one. I think that's like the best one.
No, better than the 64 one. X.
Well, that was good, but I just thought GX was so much better. Anyway,
okay,
I think there's going to be a Wii one because they can do online now, and they can do something with the wheel, probably. And there's no reason they. Yes.
And they do online.
Well, they will attempt, and it will suck, but it will be there. And it will be impossible to actually initiate a fun game of F-Zero with your friends.
And they will not let you speak, but they'll give you little speech bubbles for Captain Falcon to give to your friends.
They'll give you 37 speech bubbles, like I'm going to really go sift through them all and be like, let's date and party now.
I'd like to see somebody run a survey, like see if there's anyone in the history of gaming who's ever used that feature for anything.
It's just a fucking... I know the idea of Luigi screaming the N-word makes everybody a little uncomfortable. But just not allowing voice chat when it was done in the last generation of online game. Console gaming, don't even consider PC gaming, is absolutely inexcusable. I cannot stand not being able... Like, we were trying to get in a room, and I couldn't tell which one of you guys the Wi-Fi was actually working for, because we couldn't speak to one another.
Yeah, even though we were all online trying to play Mario Kart, and you could in a room, you could walk from each of our desks to the other and go online, and one of them wouldn't register as online to everyone else, so we couldn't start a game. And it's like, why? If we all had a gamer tag and just hopped on, we'd be playing 10 minutes ago. Instead, it's like a constant whirlwind of, so you've got my friend code and my Mario Kart code, and I'm online, but says you're not, but I am. And shut up. Everybody just shut up.
I'm going to predict right here and now that it's going to be 2 big reveals. The first one's going to be Mario Hockey, because that's the only major team sport that hasn't been exploited. Or Mario Football. It could be that. And they're going to announce that they're going to extend the Wii friend codes to 42 digits. Because that's so much more fun.
It's Pi now.
Because there's so many... Well, there's so many people buying it. What's the maximum number of 16-digit code you can produce?
Was it Shane who said that? They should change the name of the Wii to the Nintendo Mario. That's pretty much all there is now.
Nintendo Mario, parentheses, and also Zelda.
What's the safest bet?
I think Kid Icarus is the safest bet, and I really would be surprised if there wasn't a Punch-Out, because they talked about something bridging that's going to be bridging hardcore gamers are going to get excited, and the casual audience is going to get excited.
I think that's Kid Icarus.
I don't think that's Kid Icarus, because how is the casual audience going to care about Kid Icarus? It's going to be an action game.
Well, casual audiences are playing Smash Brothers. They're the only people who notice it.
It'll be Kid Icarus, but it'll be playable with the Wii Fit balance board.
The safe bet is Animal Crossing. Where's the Animal Crossing?
Well, Animal Crossing will probably come with their hard drive when they decide to actually announce it.
Oh, sack of balls. That's right. It always does come with a data storage solution.
It comes something. The first one came with the memory card. The second one came with online and the ability to actually share shit with people without having to swap memory cards. And it just makes sense. The third one is going to come, well, the fourth one, I guess, is going to come with something for the Wii. And if it's going to be loaded up with all the shirts you can make and things you can trade and all this other stuff, that stuff's not going to fit on a Wii that's already filled to the fucking tits with WiiWare and downloaded software. It's completely run out of room. So I really think that's what's going to happen. But Punch Out, that works for both. Like,
I hope so.
You just take the skeleton of the punching game that was already there in Wii Sports and then make crazy boxers out of it and then.
Not crazy. I just need a bald bull.
Yeah.
Possibly a mad clown. Yeah, I'll accept a King Hippo. I know everybody wants that. I don't care. He's pretty easy.
I like King Hippo.
I love Super Punch Out.
Yeah, I love it
so much.
That was in the we had a feature last year as like forgotten sequels, and I personally vouched for Super Punch Out. It's fantastic.
And what site was that on?
That was Game Raiders or
Game Raiders.
No. Or, Games Radar, which is so hard to remember. 2 words that don't go together at all.
That's right, kids. It's on videogamesradar.com. I'm sure you can find it. But did anybody theme my article?
Yes, it's up right now.
Yeah.
Because we're recording this as it just went up. But it's currently on N4G, and it's making the rounds on all the aggregating sites.
What's it got on N4G? People can wait.
I don't know. Well, right now it's just starting. I don't think it's really done anything yet.
You're not going to hurt my feelings. Just fucking tell me.
There's some said "fuck you" degrees.
The article is the Nintendo secrets that are the least likely, correct?
The least likely, but they're not just. They're not out of the realm of possibility. Because I think a Pilot Wings. It's a stupid decision not to have a Pilot Wings on the Wii. It was a stupid decision not to have one at launch. Pilot Wings has always benefited from being a fucking launch game, and nothing fits the motion sensor controls better than a game that was all about motion in the first place.
It would have made perfect sense to launch with that, but I mean, we had to get a fucked up Zelda game instead that worked great on GameCube and had no reason to have a bunch of shake the thing to do the sword thing. Thank you. Now I can play
it. I liked it. I liked the stabbery and the swish swish.
Oh God.
I thought it was just enough. It was just enough waggle.
My mom loved it. So
exactly.
If that tells you.
Whatever your mom likes, I'm not going to.
My mom loves Mario Kart on the Wii.
Oh, that's right. Your mom's a fucking gamer. I'm thinking of my stupid mom, who's also on our website.
Loves Grand Theft Auto, by the way.
Yes, she's playing Grand Theft Auto.
And being sworn at by her son.
Dude, she was the one. She said blowjob.
Wow,
my dick hid in my body like a scared turtle.
That's fair license then.
Oh, my mother saying blowjob.
But back to your article, we were discussing, and not your mother's blowjobs.
Right.
I'm uncomfortable talking about my article because no.
Well, I'll talk about it then. Guess what? You mentioned Uniracers, which I just wanted to mention, which was that DMA. You said, yeah, DMA who became Rockstar. So that's, golly gee, that's interesting. I guess. Yeah, a game about unicycles doing tricks.
I just writing factoids.
Yeah, it's a game about unicycles that came out right at the end of Super Nintendo's uncontested domination. It came out right after Donkey Kong Country and it also had the weird rendered graphics, and you're like, what the fuck, rendered unicycles on tracks? That's what I said.
I know, and I'm just reiterating.
Unicycles, and they all have like personalities, and like, look, the head turns around and looks, and it was just like a game made. Hey, Super Nintendo can be fast too, just like Sonic, guys. Look, only
it has blast processing.
It got a fucking can of it, man.
As does my salad spinner, apparently, because it doesn't fucking exist. And
I like that you brought up Blast Core, because that's a game I enjoyed, as ridiculous as it was.
Everybody I bring that up to has ever played it. Like, everybody loved it. I don't understand why that. It could basically be a showcase for every new system's graphics for them if it came out the first year. It doesn't have to like re-innovate itself.
No, fucking Christ, that game is wonderful, and the music is like probably some of the best music from the N64's entire days.
You know what? I'm going to cue a little bit of that music up because I love you, Brett.
Oh, you're gonna pick up like the cheesiest, probably Simeon Acres, I'm guessing.
I am not. It was totally going to be Simeon Acres.
Of course it is.
Why did you have to ruin it?
Because when I say it has some of the best music ever, and then people always point to Simeon Acres.
I
it's
love
like,
Simeon Acres. What's
No, I
wrong
love
with you?
I love it, but it's like the cheesiest. It's like not the music that I would use to go. You want to hear a great soundtrack? Fucking check this out.
I can't find
Michael's
Simeon
sitting
Acres.
next to
So I'm going to play Turbo Turtle Adventure instead.
No, save it.
Okay, I'm kidding. Yeah, I'm very glad to see a positive response for Blast Corps. I love that game. Core, whatever.
Well, how did it sell? I mean, it's relatively obscure even by N64 standards. I thought so.
I'm not really
I mean,
sure.
you never hear people talking about it except for like right now.
You know, because I had me a Saturn, so and eventually there's a sniff, and then I got the PlayStation. So the 64, I pretty much just bought the exclusives, and which
How about Buddy Harvest? Anyone ever get down to that?
I was so goddamn excited for Body Harvest from like the moment it showed up in Nintendo Power, and it didn't launch for like another year or two. And when it finally came out, it came out literally 3 weeks before Ocarina of Time. So I tried to plow through that game as fast as I could, and it was also done by DMA. And you can tell it was because it's almost like an N64 GTA game at that point.
Yeah, with giant bugs.
Giant bugs instead of giant criminals, I suppose. Like, there's a bunch of vehicles. You can hijack all these vehicles. Of course, there's no people because it's an alien invasion. But yeah, it was complete blueprint for GTA, and you can tell just by playing it. It's ugly as fuck. But it looked like a game that was supposed to be out in '96 and came out in '98, and then it just died a horrible death. But really cool idea. There was something like 160 vehicles you could get in, and all these different environments, and could have. I mean, if they put the time into it, all that hype that GTA 3 got for being an open world and all this stuff, among the other things it did correctly, Body Harvest could have been something huge, and it just wasn't. It was not done. The character control was bad, and too much effort to get into a goddamn plane. I know it's a terribly important thing to bring up, but
I was also pissed at no Blast, no Battle Clash.
Oh, the Super Nintendo, the Super Scope.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, why it just was one of the unfortunate games in the Super Scope, which is why most people didn't experience it.
Well, they even made a sequel. It was like one of the only Super Scope games that got a sequel.
Yes.
Falcon's Revenge.
Falcon's Revenge.
Which I
Metal Clash? What is it called?
I don't know. But but it's funny, it was the sequel, and then nobody played the sequel, from what I understand. I don't know anyone who played the sequel. But the first one apparently did. There was also
I did play the sequel.
Oh.
I never had one, but eventually we had found this kid we didn't like. We broke into his house and stole his fucking Super Scope because he did not deserve it. And we had to go back in again because we forgot the sensor when we hook it up.
Oh yeah, that groundbreaking infrared sensor that sits on top of your TV.
Yes.
Oh well, man, what if only they'd make a new console with bullshit like that?
Actually, the same amount of parts. The new Time Crisis gun.
Oh yeah.
Which I thought was inexcusable to have in this day and age to have that amount of setup for a fucking light gun and have it work as shittily as it did. If I can say shittily. I don't think. Okay, what were we going to talk about, Breed?
Well, I just wanted to this is more of a grudge at this point, but we did notice yesterday that one of our videos from 2 years ago just showed up on the Dig homepage. 2,000 digs, every Mortal Kombat fatality ever made the front page of Dig. We posted that shit 2 years ago, and now it's the video that gets dug is a YouTube rip with someone else's watermark on it.
Damn you, internet!
Which is just like the most asshole-ish thing to do.
And I went to that stupid fuckity fuck site, and it was all it is a bunch of cheap ass free Flash games. It doesn't do anything. It was just they wanted to advertise on something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's the purpose of a fucking watermark, but I was saying they don't offer any content similar to that. It was just they may as well have put it on a fucking chocolate rain.
Well,
they probably did at some point.
The same thing happened last year with that "What Rock Band Really Sounds Like" video we put up that made the rounds for a while.
Yeah, and it wound up on that porn site.
It ended up on a hardcore porn site where it's like
that I frequent and found. Can we point that out?
Yes, we can.
I
Yeah.
found it.
It's like horribly graphic image. What do you really sound like in Rock Band? A picture of 3 Games Radar people, and the next one below, like, secretary turns fucking into an art form, and like that's that's an actual.
What
topic.
I have to imagine is okay. I did come clean now. I found that while trolling for. Can you imagine erection in hand
Ugh.
on your local porn site, and your face is on it with Brett's face? Like, what the hell do I do? It was.
You send the link around.
No, it's like
Yeah.
my boner just sounded like an deflating balloon.
You're like, my boner must be avenged.
Oh man!
I have to
And then
glue everyone else into this shit.
Oh God.
Yes.
So I know you guys, 2 of you guys saw Alone in the Dark this week.
Yeah, we saw Alone in the Dark, and this was pretty impressive, which might have had something to do with the fact that they were showing it to us on a gigantic screen with surround sound with this music playing. And, it's kind of a genre buster in terms of, what you expect to have. Rather than just border crawl, they're kind of all over the place. And, just the very first parts, I think, were extremely impressive with you're inside this building, it's collapsing, it basically dumps you. What?
I said, "Oh no!"
It's just very realistic. There's a lot of just oh shit. Where do I go? It's so dark, I can't see anything. There's fire everywhere, and it dumps you out onto the street essentially. You have to climb down this ridiculous building in the first act, and then you're just driving around the perimeter of Central Park while there's this unseen monster chasing you, and it's just ripping shit up. There's like a car that's turned into a fireball that just roars past you, and just all these fissures opening in the street, and huge chunk of this building comes down and just splats into the concrete, and it's pretty cool.
Does the protagonist still run like Mr. Bean?
It's just like Mr. Bean.
Yeah, didn't he just used to run like?
Oh yeah. No, and he doesn't have the weird kind of fey martial arts posing either. But it is the same guy, which is weird. And they did explain it to give away why is like that would be a spoiler, which I don't really want to do at this stage. But no, it's a big improvement over the earliest 3D polygon horror game ever made.
But it's very Hollywood-ish, and they admitted to taking inspiration from Lost and TV shows.
Yeah. It is so inspired by Lost, just the chapter select.
You're very rarely alone, and it's not all that dark a lot of the time. but that's okay. It's very like big action movie, and
There's a pretty big emphasis on fire, is there not?
Yeah, that's big. It's sort of the biggest aspect, or what they really wanted to tell us about, because they have this really cool dynamic fire system that it spreads dynamically. It's not just scripted fire, so you can catch a chair on fire and then bring it to a wall, catch the wall on fire, swing it at zombies or whatever.
How does that fire compare to the fire that was burning our hill? Did it look nearly as good as that?
It's good.
Not close, but not quite.
Because when that hill was burning, there was not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 jokes about Crisis fire, and it's like, oh, that looks just like Crisis's fire.
Yeah, it was really cool, and I mean, you have to in the 360 version at least. I won't get into the Wii and PS2 versions because who cares? But in the 360 version, you have to use fire to kill the zombies because they'll just keep getting back up. So you have to either physically drag their bodies into the fire and wave them around in it.
You have to put them out like a cigarette butt or something like that. The way you made it sound.
Yeah, essentially that's or you have to catch something else on fire or toss flammable liquid on them and light them up, which is really cool because there's all these different ways. I sound like a PR guy right now, but it was cool. I enjoyed it.
Will it immerse the gamer?
It was enjoyable. I do have to say, it was a lot more fun to watch than to actually play, because watching someone who knows what they're doing, it's really cool because they're pulling out all these really inventive things to deal with whatever. When I'm playing it, it's like, I'm trying to bash this fire extinguisher into a door, but I'm just sort of swinging it and clanging it off the door frame instead.
I'm moonwalking into a wall.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah,
I'm not turning around fast enough to see this zombie. I can't fight and hold the flashlight at the same time. There are these mutated rats that are spitting acid in my face, and
I will say
I just don't know.
it was really complicated in a lot of like you were just trying to
Really
break the window of a car and you just kept you knocked off the side view mirror and you couldn't like get your character into the right position and
Yeah,
then you open your inventory and you got like 20 things in there and you're like, oh, what do I combine with? Oh, a zombie's killing me. And so there was like all this stuff you have to deal with to try to creatively kill these creatures, but
Yeah,
A
there's
little
definitely a pretty steep learning curve, but I think it's one of those things where if you invest some time in it and you get to learn how it works without dying every 10, 15 seconds or so, then there's a lot of potential for fun there.
it was impressive enough that I came
Yeah.
away from it going, wow, that was really cool. Like I could say, gee, the voice acting sure is kind of lame and it's kind of hard to follow the story when you've got this weird girl going, holy fuck, the building's falling down. I gotta get out of the building. Fuck, guys.
I've got to state the obvious. Oh my god!
There was a lot of
You
swearing.
need to pick
though,
up the
with this
weapon and
You have to
use
get
the
out
right
of
stick
here.
to fire it.
There's a monster. Oh my god, that guy's a zombie.
And then
So-
you need to press start to access your inventory.
Use the left stick to navigate.
Oh, it turned the music
and
up
that's
again.
another thing. I was going to say, use the right stick to move the camera, but the right stick does not move the camera.
What's it do?
It sort of moves the camera slightly to the left or right, sort of pans it around, but like the only way to actually turn is to turn the main character.
Oh wow,
It's sort of irritating.
that's
It's very Dreamcast era controls
yeah,
there.
like pre-DualShock
Yeah,
era.
yeah. Well, it's kind of Resident Evil in actual true 3D space. It actually kind of reminded me of RE4 in a few places.
Yeah, there's a little resemblance.
High praise. Mm.
Well, control wise, I'm not gonna make any judgments about the game as a whole yet, but
Okay.
what I saw was good.
When's it finally supposed to come out? This summer?
Yeah, in June, I think the 24th
The
could be. Right.
PS3 version, a little later.
Oh yeah. The PS3 version's still a ways off. It won't come out
Oh,
till
really?
fall. Yeah, but 360, PS2, Wii, that's all coming out in late June.
Which kind of brings us back to the console war.
Hmm.
Kind of does.
The one that no
Timed
console is fit to wage.
Yeah, none of these fucking bastards are fit to even hold the front line because they get sick every time you turn it on.
Every one of these consoles are 4F fucking soldiers. What is Wii, Ricketts, scabies, PS3.
Even my Wii, like I turn it on. 40% of the time, it just goes to black, and then I can hear that disc loading sound, like a clacking, and then it sounds like there's popcorn kernels flowing around inside of it, and
Jesus, I
then,
haven't had that problem.
and then it just shuts off. And like this is one that was not even launch day. This one was hand delivered to me by Nintendo representatives,
Ooh.
and it was like you would
ice cream truck.
in an ice cream truck, no less. It's true. I was so happy that day. I just have to. I'm so.
I still remember your headline you wrote for that day. That was here. The Wii unboxed, grown
The
men
Wii
act like children.
Yeah, it was very true. It was really
Exactly
exciting day.
true.
But yeah, it sucks that Wii is. I'm very grateful to have received it. I put many hours into it, but it sucks
don't
that.
get me wrong.
Oh, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, appreciate the Wii.
Way back when Wii was something we could still get excited about, when it was just limitless potential instead of horrible reality.
Oh, it's so.
But I'm saying that without having played No More Heroes. I have it wrapped
but
up.
here's-
sitting-
But then the thing with No More Heroes is that that game is just doomed from the moment they say, "Hey, we're going to make a new IP, M-rated, really bloody action game exclusive for the Wii." Oh well, do you want to sell 12 or 13 copies? Because those are your choices. and then when it doesn't take off, if they would have put that same game on 360, it probably would have got a lot more attention.
I'll probably go on live.
Yeah, well, they would have amped it up a bit, and it wouldn't have looked quite like that. But
Yeah.
it's just so sad that a game that it's fun. It's a totally competent, fun, bloody, good action game, and it just kind of dies.
All right.
I guess it did all right. I don't know the actual sales numbers, but from what I understood, it was okay.
I can't. When was it released?
January?
January. I just bought it discounted by $20.
Yeah, so
Like,
that's
that's not a good
There's no
sign.
indication.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any
I
follow-up coverage
seem to
on
think
any
that there were a
website.
few critics who were like, "This isn't Wii Sports. How do I play this? Oh my god, I can't figure it out. Oh my god, guys,
where's the
how do I
tennis?
swing the bat?"
You swing the bat, use the boost to get through. Duh. And
I got this.
we're pretty much out of time. I have to catch shuttle and get home, peoples. How about you?
I should probably go.
You think so? Are your pages through? Everybody, all your articles are up?
All that
Sweetie,
shit.
Michael, do you have your shoes on?
I lost.
All that shit's done, but
Sold it.
Okay, well, we will see you guys next week.
next week where I will.
GamesRadar.com is the
Be better
website you
next
want to go to read all the articles we just talked about.
Yeah! TalkRadar, GamesRadar.com.
And there's a good chance next week, if I can make all the internet gods happy, I'll be talking from Capcom in Las Vegas.
Ooh!
I probably will not be able to say or discuss anything they're doing or showing, but that's probably where I will be.
Yeah, but it'll still be remote podcasting, which is super neato, I guess.
It'll sound like this, only now I'm in Vegas. It'll sound exactly the same.
I may or may not have some music-related news for everybody. Music game-related news. Go
Oh,
fuck
yeah?
yourself with your evil stares right now.
Not
But-
me, man.
Huh?
Not my stare.
Okay. But yeah, we'll catch you guys next week. It's nice talking to you. Chris out. Say bye, Brett.
Goodbye, Brett.